having really excellent conversations with content creators. And this Saturday is no different. Today we have with us Akeem Deare. And it's a good thing he told me how to pronounce his name because I would have gotten it wrong based on the spelling. So Akeem, I'm really happy to have you on. Could you introduce yourself to the people and tell them who you are and what you're about?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Akeem Deare. I'm actually a full-time software developer. Been a developer for the past 10 years, and I'm more or less the guy behind Redbit Tech. So I more or less create technology-based content, so tech tips, free courses, useful websites, and also a bit of advice and tips on programming, computer science, and IT. So it's more or less technology content that I create.
Right, technology content. And we need more and more of that these days because it's so important that people get up to scratch, especially in the Caribbean with tech content, because it helps people to produce the digital content they want to put in different places. So I see that you're doing that and doing a great job at it. So have you always been a programmer at heart? Because I know programmers are usually very passionate about what they do.
Um, At heart, I would say I'm an entrepreneur at heart, not necessarily a programmer at heart. It's something I like doing. So from an early age, I always knew I wanted to do something like related to computers, that kind of thing, whether it's the hardware side or the software side. But I only really got into programming when I started uni at age 19. So my journey began roughly around 13 years ago. But I like programming, but I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
All right, so I guess that you don't have to do programming, but you just decided that, oh, this is the thing that is really connecting with me, and I would use that to scratch my entrepreneurial itch type of thing.
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand. I always liked, computers because from young I always had a laptop. I liked digging through it and seeing how stuff works. I always knew I liked, like, either wanted to really get into computer science or IT or something in that related field, but my passion really is entrepreneurship. But for me, technology goes hand in hand. You could use your technology to drive your entrepreneurship, drive your business. And as things are now, everyone needs to go digital, so it only helps propel your business or your entrepreneurship journey forward.
Right, that's excellent. That's an interesting thing that you said. Everyone needs to go digital. Well, we'll
Yes,
hit
yeah.
on that. We'll hit on that. But let me just look on LinkedIn to see who is active. So we have Keneal here out of Jamaica. Keneal is saying hello, and he has a question. Android, iOS, which one is your preferred choice? I mean, that's easy, I guess.
iOS and Apple, iOS,
iOS,
yeah,
Apple,
iOS.
Apple.
MacBook
Okay,
Pro, if you want to
yeah,
go down that route, Mac OS over Windows.
over Windows.
But
All
but
right.
I use Windows as well, but I don't have an Android phone now.
You don't have an Android phone. So Keneal, that's your question answered right there from the man himself. Akeem, iOS is the preferred choice of every. Well, I don't know or when you start to expand Redbit Tech if that's going to be a company rule, but we'll see how that goes. Keneal is
Yeah.
laughing at that across on LinkedIn. You said everybody needs to be digital. Why do you believe that?
I think that's where the world is moving right now, and the pandemic only accelerated that. Because I'm sure a lot of us now work from home, or if we don't work from home, we work remotely probably 3 to 4 times a week. And with the pandemic, more and more stores are either closed or just going online because because of the lockdowns and all of that, people are at home more and more, right? So you need to make your business available online. You need to And one part of making a business online is being able to allowing customers to actually make payments online. So your entire business process, you need to digitize it, make it easily accessible to your customers. From it's just simple information to request a quote, to request a service, even to and for me, most importantly, to make a payment. Because most of us just think we just go online and create a website or probably create an app. You have your information out there. That's all well and good, your information accessible 24 hours per day. But what really makes the difference is allowing your customers to pay you online. So You have your products online, but you need to have a way for your customers to pay, whether it be credit card, bank transfer, or whatever it is. So, and all of that is just going digital, going online. So,
Right. Right. So if let's connect the dots then. Let's say you are somebody, you have a really excellent service or product, and you just happen to be a really great content creator, but the bottleneck in building your business is being able to receive those payments. What is the easiest path from an idea or business, having a web online presence, content creation, to getting paid? How do you connect those dots at somebody? If somebody was ignorant of that, they got advice from me. I taught them how to create content, but I am not a tech person online. Well, how do you bridge that gap?
well, first here in the Caribbean, I'll probably say the simplest and the most straightforward way is probably we pay. We have PayPal as well, but for us in the Caribbean, PayPal is kind of a hit or miss in terms of actually receiving your payments. It's all well and good, you could sell the stuff online, people could pay you, but when it comes time to actually withdraw your funds from PayPal, it's kind of hit or miss. I know some persons are able to connect certain bank accounts to PayPal, but from my experience, when I tried to do it, it didn't work out well. So WePay
Mm,
is probably the best option, and WePay together with a WordPress website. So WordPress for me is probably one of the is like is one of the most popular platforms in terms of building a website. So it's one of the most popular platforms and one of the most supported platforms as well. So and it's pretty straightforward to get yourself up and running at WordPress. And may have a bit of a learning curve, but as I said, that's where you might be an expert, or if you have the time, you learn it yourself, or you be an expert, set up your WordPress website, do a store, and integrate it with VP. And the integration with VP is not a difficult thing. You already have a plugin, you just install the plugin. Once that happens, you would people will actually be able to go online and purchase your products. You could also send invoices as well,
mhm.
and and from there you could actually link it to your local bank account. So you don't need a US bank account or anything. Link it to your bank account, and you can withdraw funds straight to your local bank accounts.
That's really, really interesting. I have a couple questions about that, but let me pick up on a question that Julie Ann Sargent is actually is a statement she's making across on LinkedIn. She's saying that in Barbados, PayPal sends the funds to your card at the end of the month. I wish Julie could expand on that a bit more. Do you know if that's something that only applies to Barbados in the Caribbean, or is it that they have some different system or some connection with PayPal?
I think it probably happens with certain banks. So it probably depends on what bank she's with, because I think in Trinidad with GMMB it works. For some people, when I tried, as I said, it didn't work. But for some banks, it works like that. So you can link it to, I think you need to have a Visa debit card. You link it
Hmm.
to your Visa debit card, and it will allow you to withdraw your funds to your bank account. But as far as I know, it doesn't work with Scotia, doesn't work with RBC, doesn't work with RBL. I think some persons told me it works with First Citizens, but as I say, it's
Yeah.
a kind of hit or miss with PayPal.
Yes, it's almost like you don't know what's going to happen until you get there.
Yeah,
So
and
go ahead.
I've heard some stories where persons had like thousands of dollars, probably tens of thousands of dollars in PayPal. And because we're in the Caribbean, the funds just stay indefinitely, probably like months just there. And because we're in the Caribbean as well, they don't really treat us as a priority. So they call them support, and they ain't really taking it on. So that's our next thing with PayPal.
Right, right, right. Julianne is saying that she's in CIBC, First Caribbean, and I think she's saying that it works there. And
Yeah.
Keneala's surprised by that, of course. But it's interesting. It's interesting as to because that always comes up. Well, I didn't expect the discussion to go this way, to be
Yeah, no
honest. But
problem.
but
No
but but,
problem.
but it's interesting that that will come up because that's something that's on people's minds now. In my own experience, I have to admit, this is a challenge we've been fighting with for years, and we have found solutions. None of them have been quote unquote clean solutions. Now there are some solutions that we found now that are better. Obviously, the most obvious thing to do is just open a US bank account, right?
Yeah.
And that may be easier for some than others, depending
That
on
comes with some caveat as well.
like some comes up. Well, we literally were there physically, and we literally walked into the bank
Okay.
and opened it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's how that worked. But even now, you're able to do it, and there's some caveats. It's not as difficult as it would sound. But I guess for people who have to do it and don't have the ability to, or don't have the don't know the process, or don't have the access, then I guess WePay is a good option, and then you would have like the PayPal option that could probably put your money into financial purgatory, and you can't really
Yeah.
get it back. I've heard that already. I've had people with trapped money in PayPal, and on top of that, they cut that thing like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a little painful. All right, well, that's cool. That's cool. So if Julian has any more suggestions or questions, feel free to add that on LinkedIn. So we're talking about websites, and you're talking about WordPress. I know you share lots of different tips on different things concerning websites, online stuff, development of your own presence, things you should and should not do online. Um, what content distribution platforms do you share your content on?
So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, I'm on Facebook. I recently started YouTube about 2 weeks ago, and LinkedIn as well.
And LinkedIn
And
as well.
and I have a Pinterest account. I probably have 2 posts on Pinterest.
Why so many?
Um, because for me, I'm probably most active on TikTok and Instagram. And what I like to do is repurpose the content. So once I
Mm-hmm.
do something on TikTok or Instagram, for me, I could easily repurpose it to Facebook, repurpose it to, I'm on Twitter as well, repurpose it to LinkedIn,
And
you know?
everything.
And so, but the important thing is not everything you post on TikTok or Instagram, you can post to LinkedIn and vice versa. You kind of have to know your audience. You have to know the feel for the social media platform, and you have to kind of find your own voice as to who you are, your personality on the different platforms, right? So on TikTok, for example, I'm probably more laid back on TikTok. Might try some things I wouldn't try on necessarily on LinkedIn or Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved to Instagram, for me, it's a little bit more professional on Instagram, and then LinkedIn is like, okay, you need to be polished. I kind of had to curate what I'm going to post on LinkedIn. So, and then Facebook kind of in between, for me, in between TikTok and Instagram. Most times what I post on Instagram, I'll post on TikTok, and well, I recently started YouTube. So
Right.
YouTube is is generally professional content on YouTube. I repurpose some content as well from TikTok to YouTube, but yeah, TikTok all the way on this end in terms of being laid back and trying new things, and all the way on the other end is probably LinkedIn.
Right. What are the benefits of posting on TikTok for you?
Okay, so the benefit of TikTok is probably the algorithm and how friendly it is towards small creators.
Mm-hmm.
Because I only started posting on TikTok in May, and when I first started, it was kind of like a joke. I wasn't really taking it serious. I just posted like programming, meme stuff like that, and I was like, wait, I post something, I get 1,000 views, and I post something, I get 2,000 views. And like that was like a big shock to me because you're posting on Instagram and probably Facebook and the other platforms, and you don't get that kind of engagement as a small creator. But on
Yes.
TikTok now, the way the algorithm works, it treats each video as a individual post. So every time you post, so it treats each video separately despite your following count or whatever. So every time you post, you have the ability to go viral as this year, or you have the ability to reach persons outside of your own following. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
literally had So I literally had let's say 1,000 followers, and I posted that video. It got 10,000 views, and no other social platform you could get that kind of reach or engagement as a small creator. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So when you post now, what it does is that it shows it a small amount of your followers. It kind of testing
Mhm.
your content, right? And if they like it and if they engage with it enough, and on TikTok, watch time is very important. Watch time and shares, because I want to keep you on the app. So the longer someone watches your video, if you share it to someone else, that's another opportunity for someone to see your video, right?
Right.
So each time you post, they yeah, they tested with a few users. Once it does well, they tested with a larger group. So let's say they start off at 50, then they move to 500. If it does well with that group, 1,000 does well with that group,
Hmm.
5,000, 10,000, and then it goes viral. And so it doesn't just show it to your followers. It starts off as your followers, then they expand it to other persons, and it keeps going. So for me,
Right.
that's why I like TikTok. It gives you the ability to reach
Right.
a lot of persons. Even if you start today, you could post a video today and go and get 10,000 views as long as people engage with it.
Right. Right. So the algorithm is more is it is as you say, is more friendly. No, I too have recently started posting on TikTok. I,
Yeah,
I only I only started like, what was it, last week? It was
yeah,
last week. So I'm in the same position you are in. Janelle Mencias on LinkedIn says, "Do you use any social media scheduler for sharing your content?" That's a question you could answer. Um,
yeah. So I'm probably the worst person to ask about scheduling the content because I don't really schedule my content. I'm somebody that probably works well under pressure. So the furthest ahead I might schedule something is I might do something the night before and then post it the
right,
next day, or probably 2 days before. So for scheduling stuff, I probably use Facebook
scheduler,
Business Suite. Business
business
Suite,
suite.
I think
Oh,
that's
okay,
what you call it. That is for Facebook, Instagram. But for TikTok, well, TikTok you have drafts. So sometimes I might create drafts, might have 10 drafts in there. Sometimes you scroll in TikTok. You might see a song that you like, you might see a piece of content that might inspire you to do something that relate to your own niche. So you just save it or you just do a quick video and you'll come back and edit it. So I guess that's kind of scheduling in a sense, but
hmm,
to say I'll sit down and plan a whole week ahead, I don't necessarily do that.
yeah. I guess people approach it in different ways. Let's look at one of your TikTok videos because I've some questions about your TikTok because since
Yeah,
I'm new, I have questions. So let's take a look at one of them. Let me share this tab with the people. Where is it? Where's my tab not coming up? All right, good. Now this video on TikTok, this video of yours, I'll take us off for a little while. I'll show it in the stream, and I'll take us off for a little while.
yeah.
Um, Now this video of yours got 150,000 views.
Uh-huh.
Follow for more.
Yeah, I know which one is that.
So a famous TikTok.
Websites I wish I knew earlier part Watch 5. Movies and TV shows online for free. Also available on Android and iOS. Follow for more.
So essentially, the websites that the content, like you have a series. I know people do a lot of those series websites, amazing websites or whatever, but you had like a series going on TikTok where
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would share useful websites and different things. And do you find that it makes sense to have series on TikToks, or did you just kind of fall into that and it worked and it continued doing it?
Well, when I first started TikTok, it was kind of, I wasn't taking it that serious, but then I did a little research and I saw that, that's one way to get people to commit to you. So if you do a part
Hmm.
one, first, if you now start, they probably won't commit to you. Do a part one, they come to your profile, they just see part one, part two, part three. By the time you reach part five, if they like part five, they'll come to your profile, see part one to four. they'll say, okay, I like 1 to 4, and they're looking for more. You tell them follow for more, and they will look for that for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think I actually reached up to 30 something in that series. So
Wow.
it's actually a good, I won't say tactic, but it's a good strategy. Once you have good content and content that gives value, you do a series. If someone sees your video at number 6 or number 10, they will probably, and they like it, they'll come back, they'll see 1 to 10, then they might see 10 to 20, and they will be more likely to commit to join in your community.
Right. That's so true. That's so true. And I really believe in series a whole lot because I use series for LinkedIn. Although on LinkedIn is much harder because you have a set of content in between your content. On TikTok, you can
Yeah,
literally scroll through all of your series like in one shot. As that's interesting. I noticed as well. You keep on saying that when you first started off TikTok, you weren't serious about it, and I saw the programming memes, by the way.
yeah,
Interesting memes. But I also noticed in your content that you started off with these programming memes, and they said, "Okay, let me get on screen," and you did the
yeah.
green screen thing with the red bit background,
Hmm.
and then you transitioned to doing a lot of stuff in your car for some
Yeah,
reason. You were doing a lot of stuff in your car, and then at some
yeah,
point, you transitioned to doing stuff. You made your studio, your space, the one that you're in now, and you started to do
yeah.
content there. So, what made you transition to each style? What were the circumstances that made you transition?
Well, as I mentioned before, I started off with the memes. I wasn't taking it serious, and I say the reason I started showing my face on screen was, even though I was doing the memes, I was getting a lot of views, a lot of likes, but I wasn't necessarily getting followers. And I thought to
Yeah.
myself, maybe that's because they're not seeing me, they're not seeing, they're not seeing a face behind the account.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one thing about me, I'm a very big introvert. So even doing a live and all of this stuff, this doesn't come natural to me doing TikToks. So I
Really?
don't know. Yeah, I'm a big introvert.
Really?
So
Okay. I
a
apologize.
few months ago, I never imagined I would have been doing this. Quite. I have some of my friends, they might see a video of me and they'll be like, they'll message me to ask me if this is me because they're so surprised. They're not expecting this from me.
Right,
Of
right,
course,
right,
generally I'm a quiet and reserved person, so none of this comes natural to me being in front of a
right.
camera and everything. But I guess, I guess, the fact that it's just you alone in the room talking, that probably plays a
That's
part in it.
that's useful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so even getting on camera and just doing that one video, cause I spoke to my wife about it, and she was like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Well, I'll do it." And it got a good reception. Once it did that and people started seeing who's behind the account, they
Right.
kind of committed to actually following you, that kind of stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So I started off with the background, because for me, you're scrolling through, you're seeing persons with a lot of professional equipment and good lighting. And for me,
Mhm.
the only thing I knew about lighting was that you need to put it in front of you, and that's the only thing.
Yes. Key thing.
That was the only thing I knew about lighting. Even that video with 100,000 views, that video had really poor lighting, but I guess the content is what was shining through. So
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
started off with the background, um, with the red bit background, doing it like that. And I transitioned to the car more or less because of lighting. I wanted to get better lighting, let
Yes.
person
Yes.
see, let them see, get familiar with me a bit better. Because the green screen kind of limited in terms of the quality and clarity you get. So
Mm-hmm,
I did
mm-hmm.
stuff with the car for a couple of months, and as you say, I said, let me just, it's going well. Let me try and actually take it a bit more serious. So I did got some lights, watch a couple of YouTube videos. I'm not an expert now, but I kind of generally know how to get it working. And yeah, so that's how I transitioned to. Just
That's
started with whatever I had, and then transitioned on to.
yes. Yeah. That's very good for people to know that story. That you don't really have to be like have all this fancy stuff. People often look at my kind of how the visuals are. And it's like, oh, you have so much. I say, well, no, it's not necessary. You do
Mm,
need like your smartphone. I think what's more
yeah.
important than the equipment, because the equipment is so ubiquitous now. What's more important than the equipment is that you should really have a plan and have an idea about what you want to do. In your case, you started off like, I like programming, let me do some memes, but you soon realize that if I do it this way, it works better. And it made
Mm,
you go into something new. So I think that's really important. Janelle's asking again, what are some of the must-have tools for content creators? Now, let me ask Janelle a question to her question. Do you mean like hardware tools? Do you mean like software tools? Or let's drill down a little bit into that question and find out about what Janelle wants to know specifically. But of course, tools. The biggest tool you could have, is your phone,
yeah,
obviously.
that's good.
Yeah, that's the biggest tool you could have. After that, you have just sun coming through the window, and you could use that and let the sun light your face, let the window light your face, and all those drama. But if you're talking about software tools, ask more specific questions, and we'll make sure and tell you. And Akeem will share what he knows from his experience developing his content. Um, well, they say the key to progress. All right. Well, Nikisha saying across on LinkedIn that the key to progressing is just starting. And
Yeah,
and it's true. It's true that if you didn't put that meme, and I know the meme with the girl dancing, the program.
yeah,
Yeah, I know that meme that you put up. So let's talk a little bit about your Instagram now.
yeah.
Your Instagram was interesting. All of these content platforms, though, it seems like you had not done any content creation, and then all of a sudden you just decided, let me just start to do stuff, and you had like hard lines at the time because
Yeah.
you started
So
Instagram when.
I had an Instagram account probably 2 years now, but I wasn't active on it. So I only really started posting on Instagram around March, April. So before I really started seriously, I had about 96 followers, and I was like, that was around the same time with the lockdown, the strict lockdown, and
Mm,
you're at home and you don't have much to do. You just work, you just get up, work. Well, I work from home. You get up from your bed, you work, eat, sleep, and back at it again. And you didn't really have anything much to do.
right.
And I'm someone that used to play football twice a week, so I had all that energy and time and just so so um so I took it on myself and I said, I want to kind of be more active on social media. So and in the beginning it was more about like brand awareness, trying to build yourself up as an authority within your niche, so to try and build yourself up so you could get a following, and people could come to trust you. And people tend to buy from persons they trust, so it's easier to sell to someone that trusts and respects you. So for me, it was all about brand awareness, trying to put your name out there. And I mean, it has worked. It definitely has worked, because since I started posting more consistently, I've gotten DMs, I've gotten sales and that kind of stuff. And so on Instagram started back in March, April. And what your question was, what my approach was with Instagram?
Um, I think I would have been. Well, I have a question for you now about Instagram. Let me
Yeah,
ask that question because you described the process, which was very good to know because many people did start in the last year because they were home, basically.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, like this show actually was birthed inside of that period as well. So people took advantage of the extra, quote unquote, extra time they had when they couldn't play football,
yeah,
and did that. The question I was going to ask about your Instagram is that I realized when you started your Instagram, you had um, a lot of carousels, and
yeah,
then at some point, and I think I know when it was. At some point, you switched over. It looked the same, but they all became videos.
yeah,
Was it
yeah.
a conscious choice to change from carousels to videos? But before you answer that question, because I know you have to think about it, and since we're talking about carousels, Janelle is also asking what free tools are easily accessible. So she knows about Canva. Is there anything else that you would recommend? And before you answer, let me plug something. Janelle, let me tell you, when you make videos, one of the best things you can do is include captions. And I am big on captions, for accessibility purposes, because I have a lovely accent and people sometimes won't understand me. I'm big on captions. So there are free caption tools like um, Subtitle gives you some free captioning time. You have Apple Clips, which is free if you have an iPhone. Even Instagram does captions automatically. YouTube does it automatically. So that's one of the biggest things I'd recommend in terms of tools. Get captions done with one of those tools. What your recommendation is, and then we'll jump back to the Instagram story.
For content creation, well, I think you can't go wrong with Canva. I haven't seen anything that comes close to all the features and tools and stuff that Canva has. So for me, especially because it's such a low learning curve. So if you try to go with Photoshop
Yes.
or any other those tools, you more or less need to do a course to get good at it. With Canva, you could get started today and become really good at it tomorrow. So for me, so all my Instagram posts, well, most of them, I use Canva to do the graphics, well, the pro plan. If you're serious about the content creation, I investment in a Canva. I'm not an affiliate, but I investment in a
You should. You
Canva.
should. You're selling
Yeah,
something,
I
and
will I'll
you.
probably go sign up after this. My investment in a Canva subscription is a good it'll be a good investment. Because for me, yeah, that's one of the best tools you could invest in terms of creating your content. The
Mhm,
videos that I do, most of them is in TikTok, but
mhm,
some I shoot outside of TikTok and I edit with iMovie. I
mhm.
recently got I recently downloaded the free trial of Final Cut Pro because I ain't ready to pay that amount of money for the full version as yet. So it's a 3 month trial. So, but free stuff, iMovie, and even if you're not on TikTok, you could always there's shoot your video on TikTok, and then once you get to the screen where you're going to actually post it, there's a preview. So you preview it, you make the screen, you make it full screen, and you just screen record it, and you have your video there, and you never had to post anything to TikTok. So that is one way. If you want to take advantage of all the features and filters and trending songs and stuff, TikTok is out. You know, what I realized too, like, I'm not sure how old you are, but people in my generation they kind of late to TikTok. It's kind of frown upon it, think is that is for trend. And I was
Yeah,
like that a few months ago
yeah,
before I
yeah,
before I started, but what I
yeah.
realized on TikTok that there's content for everyone. So
Mhm,
if you want to engage in as a Trinidadian bacchanal content, you could get that content. If you want to engage in educational stuff, funny stuff, you could get that content. Sports. So TikTok more or less creates a feed tailored to your needs. So once you engage with the right content,
mhm,
it will show you that content.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
So
Yeah,
so Canva, TikTok, iMovie. That's what I use.
excellent, excellent. Janella saying premium. Okay, yeah, it's Canva premium. So I think she
Yeah.
may be asking or saying that. Yeah. So I agree with that Canva recommendation. It's a really easy tool to use. So she's saying that's useful, especially for entrepreneurs who don't necessarily have a budget to have another piece of software. I think she means so. Yeah, that you're right. You're right, Janelle. It is very, very useful. And you know the thing I like about TikTok? That no, let me tell you, I was just like you, Akeem. I
Yeah.
see all these little young people dancing up the place, one time we went to a job, we doing it for one of the hotels in Trinidad and Tobago, and they were a guest there. I guess they were having a staycation or whatever because the borders were locked down at the time. And like the daughter, she's in the lobby and she's the phone and she's dancing away to this thing and trying to get it right, going again and again. And I'm like saying, "This is where you want me to put my content on there?" And I was like totally not convinced. But then I had a change of heart. I had a change of mind because I went and looked at it and I realized the same thing you were saying is that you can tailor your feed by looking
Yeah.
at particular content. They will feed you what you want to get. And I agree. I think it's a great platform to explore. It may not work for everybody, but at least it's a great platform
Yeah.
to explore.
And
And
what's so I'm not sure if you remember, like a few years ago, most of us was on Facebook, and then the younger people started to migrate to Instagram, and some of us
yeah,
remain behind on Facebook. So now, what's happening? The younger people migrating from Instagram and moving to TikTok. So
yes,
it kind of
yes,
so TikTok kind of in its infancy in terms of being a social media platform. So that's probably why you get that kind of reach right now.
hmm.
So I would say try it out. Don't be left behind. And as the young people say, don't be a boomer. There's called people that use Facebook
Yeah,
boomers.
boomers. Yeah, no, way back in the days. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think Gary Vee recently said that TikTok is Instagram and Instagram is Facebook, and
yeah,
which is essentially what you're saying. And I guess LinkedIn is a grumpy uncle.
yeah. LinkedIn.
So LinkedIn is decent too, but it's just like in
Yeah,
LinkedIn, you're gonna no, regardless of what people say, you're gonna meet a certain type of people there, which is great if you want B2B
yeah.
decision
It's great
makers.
for yeah.
Yeah, for that type of audience, which is part of who we talk to as well. All right. So your switch was deliberate from carousels to videos, and I realized that you do repurpose your content. I can even see the TikTok logo on some of them, which
Yeah.
is some people Instagram doesn't like that anymore, and
I
Facebook
think
doesn't like.
I probably did that probably once or twice, but I stop doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. They don't like it. So you graduated with a master's back in 2018. That was in what?
Project management.
Project management. Okay, so the next
Yeah.
question I'm going to ask is an interesting question. Do you think your course of study prepared you to be a content creator, or was it just something that you had to learn as you go along?
Um, did project management help me? It probably did in terms of, even though I say I don't plan that much, but it helped you in terms of planning, having like an overall strategy and then actually executing a strategy
Mm-hmm.
every day because I have been posting consistently on TikTok every day since the beginning of July. Every day. So it takes some level of planning, discipline, and commitment to know that every day you need to post some content.
Right.
And and at first, as I said, at first it was about brand awareness, but now I genuinely actually I like doing
Mm-hmm.
it. I like doing this stuff on TikTok. I like creating content. And I mentioned that, you got some DMs for business and stuff like that, but also it might sound a bit cliche, but some of the best DMs I get is persons who telling me that, hey, you inspired me to start programming, or you helped me
Oh,
to actually launch my business or to take this course. So it had a lot of, and there's a lot of young persons, they're just out there and they don't really have like the advice or like a mentor to ask a question, or a little guidance. So those type of DMs that really I really appreciate that. So
yeah, yeah.
it's grown from just trying to put a brand out there to something that I genuinely like,
Mm,
and it's not just about followers. It's trying to build a community, that
mm.
you could help and that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. That's excellent, and I think we should all strive to do that because I mean, you could want your purpose could be money or notoriety
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, you really want to be able to build the space that you're in, and because you have spent all this years studying and building up yourself in programming, and you're heavy with all of this talent and information and stuff is inside your head. So what you're doing is that you're releasing all of that, right? And when
Yeah,
people come back and say they get value from all of that effort you made, it's like it validates the effort to some degree, and it makes you feel like, yeah, you're impacting somebody more than me. It's not just for you, it's like doing it all for you is a little selfish in my mind. That's me personally. I don't feel,
yeah, yeah.
so so even like this kind of discussion is benefiting people. People are asking questions and getting value out of what we are saying, which I think is really critical. It's important. Boomers, they better thank those boomers for the lunch money they're about to ask for. I'm just saying. That's Jamila saying that across on LinkedIn.
Actually, is Gen X boomers
It's before it's Gen X. I am kind of riding the thing on
Gen X will be my
millennial.
parents.
Gen X is so
I'm a millennial. Yeah.
You're a millennial. I kind of depending on what chart you look at, I can be a millennial. Or depending on what chart you look at, because the line is it rides the line a little bit. So that's interesting. You are on YouTube as well, right? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
So I looked at some of the content in YouTube. It's mostly short form content, and you've just started to just literally 2 weeks, you said, ago. So let's look at some of your content from YouTube, like a couple of your videos, and let's check those out right now. Let's go back to the start of this video.
Welcome to Redbit Tech, and today we're going to be looking at creating your own website using WordPress. So you may ask, why WordPress? Well, it's one of the most widely used and supported platforms in the world. It offers near out-of-the-box integrations in terms of payment gateways, payment platforms, and as we go digital and take our businesses online, that's becoming more and more important. And did I mention you don't necessarily need to know how to code in order to get yourself up and running? So before we get into WordPress and all the things you're going to need to get yourself up and running, there are two things you're going to need to purchase: your domain name and web hosting. And your hosting is where all your website files are stored, so the actual code for your website, images, videos, any documents, etc. And you can think of your domain as the actual address to your website. So if your web hosting is where your actual files are stored, or let's say where your files lives, your domain actually points your web browser to the correct location. So when you go to our website, it returns the correct information. And since every domain has to be unique, you need to do a search to make sure it isn't taken. It's kind of similar to your email address or your social media username. Now, there are a number of services you can use to either purchase your domain or web hosting, with GoDaddy and Bluehost being the most popular ones, and I'll link to them below in the description. So let's get into it.
So once you purchase your domain and hosting, the next step will be to get an actual install of WordPress. And most hosting providers either do this for you automatically or provide you with a simple one-click process. And in this example, we're looking at Bluehost's one-click option. So you select your domain, enter your username and password, and some other basic information about your website, and then you click to install. So once that's complete, you can now log into your WordPress admin dashboard. And this is more or less where you'll come to customize and edit your website. So from adding themes, plugins, creating pages, updating your menus, and so on. So the next step would actually be finding a suitable theme or template for your website. And my go-to website for templates is Theme Forest. You can select from the various categories or do a specific search for the type of theme you're looking for. For this example, I'll be using a theme that I already purchased. The theme is usually in the form of a zip file, so you'll download it and unzip. Now, there are usually some other files with documentation and licenses, but what you're looking for is a theme folder. You'll then see another zip file, usually the name of the theme, and in my case is consultio.zip. Next, you're going to click on Themes under the Appearance section and select the Upload Theme option and navigate to the location of the consultio.zip file that we just mentioned. Upload the file and install. You can then proceed to activate the theme. Once the theme is activated, it may require you to install and activate some additional plugins. So let's do that. Each theme usually comes with demo content, which more or less shows you what the website should look like with all the features. Here's what the Consultio theme should look like. So let's install the demo content to our website. To do this, we'll navigate to Consultio, then import demo. Most themes have similar one-click installs for their demo content. So once that's complete, let's navigate to the website to see if the import was actually successful. Okay, so everything looks fine, so let's actually edit this page. And the name of the page builder on this theme is called Elementor, which for me is one of the best page builders on WordPress. So when you're purchasing your theme, make sure it's built with Elementor. So at the top of each page, there's an option called Edit with Elementor. And this is going to give you a no-code editor that is going to allow you to easily edit your content.
So you can edit your text, update color schemes, move around different components, or add or remove images and documents. They just make it really simple to edit and update your website. So once you're finished editing, you can hit the update button and the changes should be reflected on your website. Here are some additional areas to take note of. Pages, this is where you add or update your website pages. Menus, this is where you add or update your menu items. And each theme usually has a theme options section where you can customize the core components of your theme, such as your logo, your header, footer, theme colors, or even your typography. So there you have it, a quick guide on how to get your website up and running with WordPress. And if you found this useful, leave a like and subscribe for more tips and tutorials. Thank you.
All right. I think Akeem got bumped off for some reason. Let's see if he jumps back on. In the meantime, let me throw up his Instagram as well as his TikTok. His TikTok page. So it's at redbedtech_tech. So that's where you can find Akeem. And let me just play one more of his videos and kind of wait until he jumps back on. I think he got bumped off. You know, sometimes in these spots, internet can go down, power can go down. You know, live streaming is like that. Let me see who's talking across on LinkedIn. Julianne is saying that is a lot to swallow, but great info. Julianne, it's hard to break down everything in this one segment. And I guess if you want to learn more, you can always go to Akeem's Instagram, his TikTok, his YouTube, which I guess is redbedtech, and check that out. And you should be able to find more information there and consume it at your own pace. And of course, if you want more resources, you could also just do a general search. I know that and I hope you're talking about the websites in particular. You may even be talking about all of the information that we're sharing here. You know, content creation can seem like it's overwhelming, but if you set goals and you take it step by step, then you will be able to create content for yourself. In addition to having a website, in addition to having social media, the distribution platforms and being active on those, it really is a step-by-step thing. The 2 rules of content creation, 2 initial rules of content creation that I would share with you is that number 1, the first thing you know, well, let me share the second rule first, which is what I usually do, right? The second rule, Akeem is coming back, he's back on. The second rule, hi, good to see you again, Akeem. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me again?
Yeah, but yes,
I'm
your
back.
voice slowed down.
It slowed down a little bit. Okay, maybe it's the connection. All right. Let me finish what I'm saying, and in the meantime, you can try to work out the technical stuff. So hopefully, you're not hearing me well. All right. So let me just continue finish what I'm saying, and then you'll work out the technical stuff. Okay. So the 2 rules of content creation. Number 2 rule is before you open your mouth, know who you're talking to. The number 1 rule is know yourself. And my good friend Garen across on LinkedIn is saying consistency is key, which is very, very true. It's very, very true. That's another critical component of being able to be a content creator. And consistency, not just in putting stuff out, but consistency in the quality as well. You want your quality to ascend and not descend. Let me get Akeem. Let me take this out of the feed. I hide this and hide this. Even though that looks like him, that is not him as yet. Let me try and get him in the stream here. All right. I think Akeem is having some I will always say, okay, Akeem is ready to join my broadcast. Let me get him in here. You think it's sorted out? Okay, let me see. So he's gonna jump back in right here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. So you hearing me right? You're good?
Your audio went slow again.
It went slow again? That is not good. But we're bringing things in for a landing at any rate. Is my people across on LinkedIn, is my audio okay when I'm talking now? Is it slow? Is it breaking up? Maybe it might just be according to Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec. When he was on Parks and Rec, there might be network connectivity problems. That's what it might be. I'm good, man, Garen. I'm good. All right. So in the meantime, while we're waiting on that to get resolved, Start talking faster. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to get resolved, what we'll do is I will show another. Ah, he's hearing me now. Okay, great. Great, great. You hear me better now. Nice. Okay, great. So in the meantime, what we'll do, we'll show another one of your videos from YouTube in the meantime. We'll show this one right here. All right, let's play that one.
Hi, welcome back to Redbit Tech, and today we're going to be talking about incognito mode, or as some of you may know it, private mode. So I'm sure sometimes there may be something you want to search for, download, or even look at, where you don't necessarily want your activity to be tracked or monitored. So you proceed to open up an incognito tab, thinking it's all well and good, no one's going to see your activity. When in fact, incognito mode offers very little in terms of protecting your privacy. So your online activity could still be seen by your internet provider, the search engines you use, the websites you visit, and if you're at work or school, your network admins. So how can you really protect your online privacy? Well, I have 3 suggestions. And the first one is to use a VPN, which more or less creates a private encrypted tunnel between you and the internet that also hides your IP address. This is especially useful if you're using public Wi-Fi hotspots, as they tend to be easy targets for hackers trying to sniff out your information. My second suggestion would be to use DuckDuckGo, which is more or less an alternative search engine that doesn't track your online history. They emphasize protecting your privacy by not tracking or collecting your data to serve you personalized search results. And my final suggestion if you want maximum privacy would be to use a Tor browser, which more or less adds an extra layer of encryption and privacy to your online experience. It blocks trackers and prevents the monitoring of the websites that you visit. So all that anyone's going to see is that you're using a Tor browser. So I'm pretty sure if you use these 3 tools, a VPN, the DuckDuckGo search engine, and the Tor browser, you could truly do some incognito browsing. And if you found this video useful, leave a like and subscribe for more. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So you're there, right? You're there, right, Akeem? I'm seeing you. I just want to make sure you're hearing me. So Garen is saying across on LinkedIn that lighting though. So your lighting changed from the first video to having a RGB light, a purple light, which of course is on point for your brand, in the background. So he was exclaiming at that. So I guess you upgraded in between those 2 videos.
I actually had it, but I didn't use it in the first video.
How come?
I don't know. That first video, I kind of rushed it, so I didn't have everything. And as you always say, everything wasn't perfect. So that first video, I just wanted to start. I wanted to put something out, so
Right.
I didn't set it up. So even now, I'm not 100% satisfied with what I put in out. So I think the audio could improve and other stuff could improve as well.
Yeah, yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, the reason why I post so much on TikTok as well is along with posting that much, you get a lot of practice. So when you're posting something every day, you get any practice, you get any experience, so you know what would work, what don't work, what your audience like. So you just need to start to get the practice to get better at it. So that's that first video was just me wanted to start and then trying to improve on each video.
Right. Nikisha is asking in the website video, the WordPress video, and I will get back to you improving on TikTok in a minute. Was the Elementor version that you get the free version? How was that bundled? Is it free with the theme?
Usually when you purchase a theme, it comes bundled with it, so you don't need to pay anything extra for Elementor. It's bundled in with the price you pay for the theme.
Okay, that's the answer right there, Nikisha. And there are other ones. There's like WP Bakery, I think, still, and there's Beaver Builder.
Bakery. Yeah,
you
but like the one with the least learning curve, is probably Elementor. So persons who don't necessarily have a programming background or like a technical background is Elementor is a bit more friendly, and it's pretty straightforward compared to the rest. I think it's probably the best.
And in your opinion, which is the best theme for a beginner?
It varies. So a theme would probably that probably has less components. So when you're doing our website, so the page I shared there is called theme forest, and that's where I go to get themes. So you could, so if you want to do a website for a construction company, a lawyer's office, a consultant firm, you could search that, and all the various themes will come up. There's a filter for Elementor, make sure there's Elementor there, and from there you could preview the theme. So you can actually click on it, it'll give you a preview, and you kind of have to see how complex it is for yourself. So generally, for your basic website, the most that you need is a homepage about contact us and your services. You know, so when you come to your website, your homepage needs to answer a couple questions. It needs to let the person clearly know who you are, what services you offer, how to contact you, how to pay you. So your homepage, and not your other pages, your homepage, because similar to probably TikTok and other platforms where you just have like a split second to grasp their attention and to hook them, as you say, your website kind of similar. So you need to have all that information on your homepage, who you are, what you do, how to contact you. If you need to go further on your price and whatever, you need to have that. So your basic website, homepage about contact services, and you more or less you'll have to go through the themes to see which one will meet your needs. It's similar to your shopping online, where you're trying looking to do a course. You need to see which one will meet your needs, because some will have a whole lot of bloat that you don't necessarily need, and some will be a bit simpler. The simpler ones tend to be cheaper, so that could be a guide.
Right. So get what fits you, and a good place to get them is themeforest.com. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not affiliated there either.
Not an affiliate there. We're advertising things and nobody getting paid. I mean, you talking about that.
Some of that stuff.
Yeah. Next time we gotta prepare ahead of time and get paid for some of these advertisements. So that there you go, Nikisha. I hope that was useful. So let's bring everything in for Landon. I have your I'm assuming this is your Instagram and your TikTok down at the bottom there. I know you're looking at it. You're on your are you seeing it on the screen or no?
No, I'm not seeing anything.
All right, so this is red at redbit_tech. That's correct? Yeah. So
on most platforms you could find me using Redbit Tech.
Right. Redbit Tech. And let me put up now. You can't see it, but trust me, I'm putting it up, right? Let me put up now your website. All right.
That website is old. Are actually redoing it right now, because it kind of has more old. Yeah, it has more old logo and branding and that kind of thing.
All right, let's hide that then. Let's not show that then. Although I'm sure when they search for you, they'll still find it.
Yeah, they'll be at the top there. But
right. Yeah. One last question before we go, Akeem. So I noticed that in your content, you almost make a demarcation between Akeem Deare and Redbit Tech. And those two things don't seem to overlap. As a matter of fact, you're on Instagram, but your icon for your private Instagram or your personal Instagram, or is it Instagram or is it YouTube? Your icon for YouTube is a football. And you mentioned earlier on that you play football twice a week, so you're a football fan. Is it that you deliberately separated the two?
Well, Redbit is its own entity in the sense that it's a registered business. It's Redbit Limited. So I kind of have no. Well, that's how that came about. Redbit Limited is a business, and Akeem Deare kind of separate from that. So it's not. I don't think it could be a personal brand. To be a personal brand, it will have to be Akeem Deare, but Redbit is its own entity.
Right. Because also on Instagram you have Akeem Deare and you have Redbit, like two separate things, and the content that you have, it's clear that the content you have on there is not programming. is not programming. So do you think, with that said, building a personal brand, because you said when you first started on TikTok, you were building awareness, and you were building awareness for the business, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How tied in is you are as a person, and not necessarily your private things, but how tied in are you as a person to the Redbit brand, and how do you integrate those two, if at all any? Or is it really just like literal separation? Because clearly you are creating the content and people are seeing your face now. So it's almost hard to get away from that. So how tied in are you now?
Well, I guess, well, on TikTok, I don't think anyone knows my actual name, but if someone sees this video, they would. So in TikTok, it kind of, they already know my name. Or if you Google my name, you'll kind of find out everything about me because I did, I did a few stuff in the past, good stuff, you know?
Good stuff. You want to say
Yeah,
that?
so if you Google my name, you'll, well, let's find out everything. But TikTok is kind of like that. Instagram, I guess now as I started showing my face now, more because on Instagram I never used to show my face, but
Right,
as I started showing my face more, I guess I would be more associated with the brand Redbit. And
right,
I don't really have an issue with that, but in terms of the branding, I don't think I would ever move away from Redbit to be Akeem there tech.
right, right.
You know, I
What?
think it would always be Redbit.
Right. Well, why not? Well, I'm curious as to why. Okay, so my company's name is Relate, and I deliberately
Hmm.
did not name my company. My name is Juma, whatever. There's a reason I
Yeah.
did that, right? Why did you do that?
Um, well, this company wasn't really formed by me alone. It was by with a colleague, with me and another colleague, and it really only came about because we had a freelance job to do, and the person we were dealing with didn't want to deal with two entities. They wanted to deal with our business. So that's why
Right.
we went and registered the business. That was like back in 2015, and believe it or not, I didn't come up with the name. He came up with the name. I think he
Oh,
ever really explained to me what the
for
name
real?
actually meant or anything. Think he had some other businesses called Red something, and he just said Red Bit. And I was like, okay. Because for me, what I realize is your logo and stuff, it matters, but in the grand scheme of things, it don't really matter in the sense that you are the brand, you the content you create, the value you provide, the community you build. That's what the brand is. Cause as sure as you see the name of my stuff is red, but nothing red. You know, it's
Well,
purple and
clearly,
black.
clearly,
You know,
clearly,
so
clearly.
it it was red a few months ago, but then I was like, I was playing around with different stuff in Canva, and I was like, I like how this purple and black look. And I was like, okay, let's change it and it looked good. And I was like, at first I was like, you know, your company name is red, but you need to have something red. But then I didn't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
like
yeah.
it. So, and the name wasn't my
I'm,
choice,
I'm,
as I
I'm, sh-
said,
I'm offended. I'm highly offended. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
you know. So I don't really place much emphasis on that aspect of it.
Right, right, right. But despite that, you're doing a good job, because if we look at your Instagram, we see how synchronized that is. You have what people say a good looking feed, where it
Yeah, yeah,
all is all very uniform. So you're doing a really excellent job. That's what I'm trying to build on TikTok, a really nice, uniform,
yeah, yeah,
good looking feed. I mean, maybe you could go across and do a TikTok
yeah.
audit for me there if you like.
TikTok are a little more chaotic
You see, and that's the
than
differentiation for
Instagram.
me. For me, that's the
Yeah.
differentiation. I wanted to be a good looking feed.
And next thing about TikTok, especially in Trinidad, TikTok is a geo-focused app, which means your content gets shown to persons in your region first. So your content, my content will get shown to Trinidadians, Trinbagonians first.
Mhm.
So kinda your content kinda depends on your local audience, which is a blessing
Oh,
and a curse in a sense,
oh yes.
you know, because like see, like we just said, different types of content on TikTok would do really good. Like content that's funny, or as we say, bacchanal, or you know, that kind of thing. That
Mm,
kind of content. Cause we as Chinis, we like
yeah.
them kind of
Oh,
things. So that
yes. It's hot.
kind of content with high engagement, yeah, high engagement, high shares, high watch time. That is what tend to do really good. in Trinidad, most times, and content that we do, more educational stuff. My stuff is mostly educational. Did a few. I was trying to kind of mix the kind of entertainment and educational, but our content a little more difficult to do well, at least in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
because if you look at, cause sure you see content from creators abroad, and if you look at the content they create compared to what we do, it's kind of similar, but the difference is their
Mm.
audience they have a bigger audience as well. We have 1.4 million here.
Right.
Sorry. They have millions, tens of millions out there, so they have a big audience and they have more ability for their content to do well. But once
Yes.
the content does well enough in Trinidad, it starts once it goes viral enough, if it starts going viral, it expands to the wider Caribbean, then to the
Mm.
US, the UK. Because our followers, when you check our followers throughout the Caribbean, and have some in the UK, some parts of Africa as well. So if your
Mm.
content does well enough, that's when it starts showing it to a wider audience. But as
Mm.
it is now, once you post now, the majority of persons are going to see your content are Chinese. So you're kind of dependent on the app to show your content to the right persons.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
that's why I
Um,
usually go ahead.
no, I was going to say, Julie is running. Julianne, who has been asking a lot of questions and been on
Mhm.
the stream on LinkedIn, is running. Thank you, Julianne, for coming on. We appreciate that. Feel free to follow Akeem on TikTok, Instagram, and connect with him on LinkedIn. Are you accepting connections on LinkedIn?
Yeah, and YouTube
Yeah.
as well. You could
And YouTube
subscribe.
as well. You can subscribe there as well. And feel
Yeah.
free, if you like, on LinkedIn to connect with me as well. Thank you so much for coming on and for being part of the useful content community. And let me just ask one question from Nikisha, and then we'll come back to you what you were saying, and we're coming for a landing. And Nikisha is
Okay.
asking, would a long form landing page be good for a beginner? I'm not sure what she means by a long form landing
Like our
page. Do you?
website.
Yeah.
So your landing page kind of serves one purpose. Whereas our website, excuse me. Yeah, whereas our website, you have your you have about how to contact your services, how to pay, that kind of stuff. But a landing page serves one process. So if like you have a promotion or if it's a affiliate program, that landing page kind of acts as your funnel. They just capturing persons for that particular purpose.
Yes.
They come to the landing page to get the information about whoever, if it's a promotion or whatever, they get that information. They do what they had to do, and you get your information from them, and they leave. So that's more or less what our landing page is. So it's a bit different from our website.
Right. So it serves two different purposes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
landing
So,
page kind of just one purpose. You just want them to come here. You know what? You know what's a landing page? Your link tree, that could probably be like a landing
right.
page in a sense. So it's just one thing.
One thing. So I guess the
Is it?
answer to the question, a part of it is that you have to know why. You have to know what the purpose of the thing is for, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
and then build according to that.
yeah.
Yeah. If you want, you can message Nikisha. You can message Akeem. Hopefully he's taking DMs. Message Akeem and
Yeah,
bother
yeah,
him a little
yeah.
bit. Bother
My
him a little bit
DM's open,
and,
yeah.
and find out more. All right. I think that's it. I think we've come to the end. Do you have anything else you want to say or plug, Akeem, before we go?
Um, Not really, but I mean, if you're passionate about technology, or if you just want to learn more, you want to find out about useful tips, free courses, or if you want general advice, you could feel free to follow me on Instagram, TikTok. You subscribe to my YouTube because I'll kind of focusing on bringing out more content there as well, more regularly. Yeah, and thanks for joining. Thanks to everyone that's part of the community already and anyone that wishes to join.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Akeem, for being on the show today. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you for everyone across on LinkedIn. This has been streaming to YouTube as well and across on Facebook. This is the last external interview or discussion or content creation exchange we're going to be doing for the year. As you all will know that the Thursday show is already on season break and coming back next year. And soon Saturday will be on season break as well. And I will miss you guys. But we're so grateful to have Akeem for this last hurrah before we bring in Ayinde sometime next week or the week after to find our final conversation for the year. So thanks again, Akeem. And stay good. And
no
to the useful content community, you all stay good as well. And I'll see you all soon. All right, later.